Welcome to the BS Banking Show, Mr. Chakravarti. Good to have you. My first question is that, can you tell me what were the key drivers behind the three-way merger of Shriram Group NBFCs?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Raghu, for having me on this show. The basic key drivers are one is to simplify the entire group holding structure so that each of the businesses are held separately. That's the reason why capital is merging here and the demerger of the insurance companies and other businesses. That thought process was that there are investors who are coming, who are interested in coming and partnering with Shriram, but then they are keen on specific sectors. Like somebody wanted to put money up in general insurance, somebody wants to invest in life insurance, somebody is interested in the lending side of the business. So if they're coming into the holding company, they are actually buying into all the three, which some of the investors were not keen to. So we thought it's better to simplify the entire structure. That's how, that's one reason. The other reason is also obviously the synergies that have not been explored between the two lending arms. That's Shriram City Union Finance and Shriram Transport Finance. Basically, if you look at the Shriram Transport customers, almost all of them would probably need a two-wheeler, a four-wheeler, working capital, which can be leveraged through the gold that they have. Also, we found that on a sample survey, we found that almost 20+% of STFC customers are using commercial vehicles for their captive use. That is, most of them are into businesses where they need this commercial vehicle, and so they got it funded from STFC. So we thought it's an opportunity for us to fund their businesses also, get into a small business funding. On the other side, we've also seen in SCARF, a lot of our SME customers are also holding or running commercial vehicles for their business, which we thought could be beneficial for the vehicle finance business. Apart from these two, there are also another reason is Shriram Transport has a network in places where Shriram City has a very limited branch presence. So that's one place where we thought we can actually leverage on the STFC branch network and expand the business. To newer geographies, to newer customer segments, using STFC's branch network and their experienced manpower.
Can you give me a sense of what kind of an NBFC will this new entity be? I mean, you will not. Yeah, go ahead, sir. Go ahead.
We will be remaining as a retail finance company. We are not getting into any wholesale lending or a very large ticket lending. We will continue to be what we are. Probably we will be a mix of mostly asset financing company. See, other than a personal loan segment of 6,000-7,000, 5,000-6,000 crores that we may have. Other than that, we are largely asset finance company. Now, funding a truck, a commercial vehicle, or funding a business, or funding a two-wheeler.
Yeah, the RBI is in the process of circularizing its scale-based supervisory architecture. How do you see the emerging NBFC landscape in this context?
The upper layer and the lower layer, probably there could be some issue. I mean, the mid-tier could shrink is what my feeling is. See, unless the NBFC industry adapts to probably a model where we work together with the banks, the mid-layer will find it difficult going forward. For us, it doesn't make a difference because at a size we are in, we are already under Ind AS. Probably the regulator also wants to regulate us on par with banks. In fact, we as you are well aware, the banks are still under IGAP and
Yeah.
NBFCs has moved to Ind AS, which is we have moved on to an expected credit loss model. So we have, I think we have enough and more provisions also. So we are not really, as an organization, we are okay being in the upper layer and regulated there.
On the accounting side, you are on Ind AS, you are as regulated as a bank. Then what is the status of your banking ambitions? This is my next question.
See, we are very clear. We are happy to be an NBFC, and we are to be an NBFC today, and we will be happy to be an NBFC tomorrow. See, earlier there was some concern also in the market and a few analysts on the size of the liability, whether we will be able to sustain in raising the required liability to meet the needs of the business. But I mean, we are able to raise money comfortably. We can raise another close to another 25 to 30,000 crores through public deposit. We have the bandwidth to raise that kind of a money through public deposit. And now with the liberalized, borrowing that RBI has announced from over the ECBs, through ECBs, probably we should be able to raise some more money before October. And even if you look at it, my entire banking today, out of my 1 lakh, close to 20,000 crores of borrowing, only 27% is from term loans from banks. So even that, even as a single party exposure, there is a lot of leeway for us to go to banks and borrow. So the liabilities part, as long as that is taken care, I don't think we should worry about us becoming a bank, because I mean we are. To be given a choice, we would like to remain as an NBFC and continue as an NBFC.
The general sense is that the NBFC as a model is well past its sell-by date. Do you agree with that view?
I don't think today banks have the ability to reach to the lowest strata of the society. Even with all this, I mean, even in developed economies, if you look at any other developed economy, they all have NBFCs today. Your US has so many NBFCs functioning and thriving in US. As I said, it has to be a partnership. It is not that one model works. So the last mile delivery, I don't think banks would be in a position to do it. And I think NBFC is a necessity for a country of our size and our population.
How do you see the co-lending model shaping up?
There is a lot of noise and talk. Probably we'll have to see the numbers. I'm not very sure co-lending is the way to go. In a sense, the partnership between a bank and NBFC need not be just a co-lending model.
Is the worst over for NBFCs, or are there still a few pain points? And what are the key takeaways as you see it of the pandemic years?
Pain points more or less over. Yes, that's what I'm seeing on the ground, and our performance in the last, if you look at the last 2-3 quarters, actually. Hopefully, I mean, monsoon, hopefully, yes, monsoon has been normal this year. So good monsoon, no return of the pandemic. And if the government's commitment on infra spend, if that happens, I think we are on a good wicket. I think what we will learn from pandemic basically is one thing is how to go, that you need to go digital. Some of your services have to move online. And what we have learned as an organization is that even in the remotest of places, rural areas, people are using smartphones and they are able to transact through smartphones. So how do you, our thought process has completely changed on how do I use my customers' usage of a smartphone? Turn that into an advantage for him and for me. And working towards delivering, we did spend a lot of time and money on analytics during the pandemic period, so that today we are able to deliver credit digitally across the country. So some of the learnings is that it is also taught us how important it is that you are on a constant touch with your team and customer, and also support the customer in a hard times. If you support him, they'll come back and reward you. That is what is, I mean, that is what is happening in the last 9 months. If you look at my collections, basically, most of those customers are coming back and paying us. People who are affected in COVID, once the businesses have become normal, most of them are coming back and paying. In fact, the collections have been pretty good in the last 2-3 months. I mean, the quarter was about 103-104% of collection, which is actually slightly better than pre-COVID.
Mr. Chakravarti, it was good having you on the show. I wish you all the best ahead in the merger process. We look forward to having you again. Have a good day, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
If you like this video, share it and subscribe to Business Standard. For more news, views and insights, log on to www.business-standard.com. Do also follow us on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Telegram and LinkedIn.
I am the blue of the limitless sky. I am the inspiration that led success soar high. I will achieve, I will fly high. I am the I in SBI.
I'm backed by the nation's trusted bank, SBI, the banker to every Indian.